Belichick, was asked if he's sticking with his poorly supported quarterback, Mac Jones, this week, and gave a non-answer. Let's take a listen.
Is the plan to stick with Mac here at quarterback for the time of 3 weeks?
Let's try to beat Cincinnati.
Oh.
I think that's an answer.
What do you think it is?
I mean, that means they're going to Zappy, right?
No, they're not.
They're trying to win.
Come on.
Belichick hasn't made many mistakes in his career, but not going with what I think his gut was, which is sticking with Zappy, was one of them. Since they've gone back to Mac Jones, they've won 4 games. Let's talk about how they've done it. They beat the Jets when Zach Wilson imploded, and they scored 1 offensive touchdown in that game.
He didn't implode. The Patriots' defense.
Okay, that's fine. The Patriots' defense made him implode. Okay. That's fine. They scored 1 offensive touchdown. Mac Jones threw a pick 6 that got called back. They beat the Colts.
Didn't
where
throw
they
pick 6 that got called back.
He did.
It was a non-play. We're talking about non-plays
Okay, that's
now.
fine. Then don't, okay, they scored 1 offensive touchdown when they beat the Jets. They beat the Colts 26-3, scored 1 offensive touchdown, 1 defensive touchdown. They beat the Jets 10-3, 0 offensive touchdowns, and 1 special teams touchdown. And they beat the Cardinals 27-13, 1 offensive touchdown, and 1 defensive touchdown. So in their 4 wins since going back to Mac Jones, they have 3 offensive touchdowns and 3 defensive and special teams touchdowns. They are 5-7 in the 12 games Mac Jones has started for you quarterback wins, folks. They're 2-0 when Bailey Zappi was given the full reins of the team. It is obvious they would have beaten the Raiders if they had semi-competent quarterback play. Semi-competent. And they didn't get it. So I think it is baffling to me, Coach, that they are sticking with the inferior player when Bailey Zappi, aside from a few $1 million in salary difference, they have the same investment in, a recent draft pick. And they have the same control over contractually. So I don't get it, but that's what they're choosing to go with.
Yeah, it's baffling to me that anybody would ask Bill that question at a press conference after 22 years, like he's going to answer it. Like that to me is the baffling thing. But in terms of the quarterback, look, we've seen that he could do it. He did it last year, and he had over 100 quarterback rating, I think 6 or 7 times, and he was successful in a lot of areas. And he's hit a sophomore slump. Now he's hit a sophomore slump with rookie offensive coordinators. Right. Who are transitioning from the other side of the ball, so there's an experimental part of this. So I don't think it's all his fault. But even more than that, it's an issue with the offensive line. He very rarely can go back and sit in the pocket and actually assess what's going on and get the ball down the field. He's under duress almost all the time, which is why they throw so many screens, which is why they throw so many quick passes, which is why they run the ball as much as they do.
Why did it look so different with Zappi? It was the same offensive line. And they could, even within the game where they both played, it was dink, dunk, then Zappi came in, blammo, to the end zone.
That wasn't great.
So it's the same play calling. It's the same offensive line. It's the same receivers.
I don't know. I mean, why did Baker look so different when he came off the street and played versus the next game?
Right.
Like sometimes when you don't game plan for a guy, when you've got no information on a guy, and suddenly comes in and he's radically different than the guy you've worked against, it can affect how things go. You're calling the game based off of one player, somebody totally different comes in, and it can look different initially. You can be hit by the surprise ability or the surprise differences in their play.
Yeah, I think, Nick, you're overrating Bailey Zappi. I mean, the game when they made the switch back to Mac, we saw Zappi throwing interceptions. So I just look, if there's a quarterback of the future, if on that roster for the Patriots, it's Mac Jones.
Thank you, bro.
And I'll give you credit here, Nick. You said last year when they had him throw 3 times against Buffalo in the windstorm that hurt his psyche.
Show the stats.
And he is different.
The stats.
I'm with you on that. That was an embarrassment to him. Yeah. He hasn't been the same yet. I don't think you want to embarrass him again by benching him for Bailey Zappi when, again, he might be your quarterback
That's
of the
the numbers of his career pre and post 3 pass game wilds. He was on the right track. Since then, it is a far larger sample, and it is horrifying results.
So if he's a first-round draft pick that is so fragile.
Exactly. He's not good.
But I'm just saying, if you're telling me that he's so fragile that the one game plan that he had to take a back seat for broke him,
yeah,
then
he's not the guy.
First of all, it's not realistic.
And we won. And we beat Josh Allen.
Yeah, and they won the game. And
Yes.
it's hard for me to say that's
All right, so
the
two things. One, I want to show you
catalyst.
this. Like, this is driving me crazy, and I don't want to. Everyone's blaming coaching. Everyone's blaming offensive line, blaming the baby goat a little bit. Also, like, the receivers need to catch the ball. We've had more almost plays, catch the ball, step out of bounds. Hunter Henry, catch the ball, drop it. And, like, I know it was a referee's call, but, hang on to the thing 100%. So, catch the ball, we better off. Here's the other thing that happened, and this is really breaking my heart, Coach. Hall of Famer Julian Edelman.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Hall of Famer Julian Edelman.
It's high school.
Second most playoff reception yards of all time. I don't know. Jerry Rice and Hall of Famer Julian Edelman. Weighed in on Mac Jones' theatrics and his tackling ability yesterday. And Brandon Marshall came to our defense. He's like, hey, he doesn't practice that. He says, you know what? He also doesn't practice all the antics and plays and waving off coaches and all these, sad faces and stuff. He doesn't practice that, and he does it. Why can't he make the tackle? It's bad. So Julian Edelman upset at more of the theatrics and maybe a little bit of venting. Okay. Coach,
Yeah, I
is the venting an issue?
I absolutely agree with Julian Edelman.
Wow.
100%. 1,000%. You don't need to make those faces. Take care of what you need to take care of. Everybody's trying to do what they need to do. We don't need you pointing guys out. We don't need you placing the blame somewhere else. We don't need everybody to see your frustration. Get off the sideline, get it fixed, and go back in. That's not how they play football in New England. And if you don't want to play that way, then go somewhere else.
Thank you. All right, so listen, it's almost like he's immature. It's almost like maybe that 3-pass game.
Okay.
did
Tom Brady
affect
throws the tablet.
No.
It's passion.
Okay, hold on
He
a
says, hey,
second.
can we throw the
Wait a
ball,
moment.
please? Because
Wait-
we're getting embarrassed out there.
Wait a moment.
Oh,
Hold on.
sure.
I might be wrong, but Tom Brady, his first couple years with you guys, was he as demonstrative and screaming at people as he was once he was a minted veteran champion MVP? I don't remember it that way, but maybe he was.
Tablets
but
weren't invented.
also Wilds, of all the quarterbacks in the league, he and Kyler are the gold and silver medalists for terrible body language, for just awful, all the time showing up the coaches. That's not deniable. I saw Mahomes once this year got into it with Bieniemy, and I'm not acting like every quarterback keeps their composure at all times. Sometimes they do get in yelling matches, but it is weekly with this kid who has proven nothing in this league. He acts like a petulant child.
Right. He made a Pro Bowl as a rookie. I get it was an alternate, but he still made it.
Okay.
Tua,
What does that
Justin
matter?
Herbert.
Hold on, what does that have anything
They didn't
to
make
do
it
with
this
it?
year. All
What
right,
does
they
that
didn't
have
make
anything to do
it.
with
Justin Herbert has yet to make
What
a
does
Pro
that
Bowl.
have to do with anything?
Here's what look, this guy went into that clubhouse where Bill Belichick loved Cam Newton and took over the team with that same personality. I mean, I don't coach. I don't think a guy showing passion. He didn't do what Kyler Murray did, where he basically cursed out his coach.
We just
on
had to
national-
bleep it out. He said
He's
throw the
just
bleeping
saying
ball.
it to air.
Sure.
Let's throw the
air.
ball. Let's throw the ball is going at the coach.
Nobody gets angry about passion. Nobody gets angry about competitiveness. People get angry about trying to deflect blame onto other people, throw the, all those different things. He walked into the best situation he could possibly be in, and walking into New England in a team which was built on keeping the pocket solid, playing to the strengths that he had as a college player. But he thinks that it was him that created New England, or that was responsible for all his success.
I think he thinks some of it was Josh McDaniels.
Well,
and
no,
now I got a defensive coach
that's
telling me what
that's
to do.
That's the problem, is he didn't think it was Josh McDaniels, because when Josh left, he's like, I've had a ton of offensive coordinators. It'll be fine.
What's
it's
he
me.
supposed to say?
I don't know. How about,
Why, Matt Patricia, are you kidding me?
How about appreciating all that Josh did, or the offensive staff did, and how much they were going to? You can say that you're going to be okay with also recognizing the contributions people made to you.
I put it on social media. I'll be very quick here. Before yesterday's show, you were having coach and coach's son Zach draw up flag football plays for your boys for your guys' upcoming season, where you're the offensive coordinator. If either one of your sons acted on the field the way Mac Jones acts every week, you would
They're
be
little
furious.
boys.
And he's acting like a little boy. It's undeniable.
I know, but I run a tighter ship than the Patriots. Come up next. It's Bloodless time, the most inspirational segment in
Mac
all
Jones
sports
should
television.
be